Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
After creating your company file, you will need to customize its basic settings. To access these settings, click the gear. Under the Settings heading, click the Company Settings button to open a settings window. There are 5 different sections listed on the left side of the screen. They are Company, Sales, Expenses, Payments, and Advanced. The Company section will open when the window first opens. Within the Company menu, you are able to enter your company name, contact info, accounting method, employer ID or EIN, tax form, categories, and customer label. There is a pencil icon at the right side of the screen for any section that you can edit. Clicking any section with a pencil icon will open that section. Opening the Company Name section will allow you to edit the company name and add a company logo. If you click the Customize Logo button, another window will open with a Browse button at the bottom of the page, which will allow you to upload your logo. At this time, you cannot delete a logo. The Company Name text box shown within the Company Name section is where you will edit your company name. The Add Legal Name link will allow you to add a legal name if your company name is different from the name on forms, like a 1099. If no legal name is used, your company name will be used instead. When complete, click the Save button to save the information you entered. The next section is Contact Info. Company address is the first option and allows you to add your city, street, state, and zip code. The Add Customer Address link will be used if you have a different location that your customers would need, for example, a storefront and a separate office. If you only have one location, your company address will be used for your sales forms. The Add Legal Address link will be used if your legal address differs from your company address. If left blank, your company address will instead be used. Company email is the email address to which QuickBooks can send email to contact you. If you want to use a different address to use for customers to contact you, click the Add Customer Email link. Otherwise, your company email will be the default. Company phone is where your telephone number is entered. This is shown on your sales forms. Finally, company website is where you will put your web address if your company has a website. When complete, click the Save button. Next, you will find the accounting method. This will allow you to choose between cash and accrual. If you are not sure which type to use, it is best to consult an accountant. Generally speaking, the cash method, which is used by small businesses, is when you record your income when you actually receive the money and record expenses when you actually pay the bills. In accrual accounting, which is more common and used by medium to large businesses, you record income at the time of sale, not when you receive payment. In the same way, you also record payments when you receive the bill or incur the expense, not whenever you pay it. The next section under Company is the Employer ID or EIN field. You will enter your Employer Identification Number here. This number is used for all of your tax filings. After you have entered your EIN, click the Save button to continue. Next is the Tax Form section. This section contains a drop-down box that allows you to select what tax form you file. The options in the drop-down box are Sole Proprietor, Form 1040, Partnership or Limited Liability Company, Form 1065, Small Business Corporation, 2 or more owners, Form 1120S, Corporation, 1 or more shareholders, Form 1120, Nonprofit Organization, Form 990, Limited Liability, or Not Sure/Other/None. If you do not know what type of tax form you file, select the Not Sure or Other or None and contact your accountant to find out. When you're finished, click the Save button to continue. Directly under Tax Form is the Categories section. This section allows you to track classes and/or track locations. Track classes will add a class field to your forms, which will allow you to categorize transactions within your company file, for example, categorizing by departments, product lines, or locations. The Track Locations selection will allow you to track different sales regions, counties, or different store locations. To complete this section, click the Save button. The final section under Company is the Customer Label section. This label has a drop-down box that contains terms that you can use to replace the word customers wherever it occurs in QuickBooks Online Plus. The options in this drop-down box are clients, customers, donors, guests, members, patients, or tenant. When finished, click the Save button to continue. Sales is the next section under Settings and contains 5 menus: Customize, Sales Form Content, Products and Services, Messages, Online Delivery, and Statements. The Customize menu contains a button labeled Customize Look and Feel. When clicked, you will be taken to the Custom Form Styles page, which should be empty for new companies. To create customized forms, click the New Style button on the right side of the page, which will open a menu for you to design your own custom forms. Note that the Custom Form Styles page is also directly available in the gear under Settings. The Sales Form Content menu allows you to choose the default information contained in your sales forms. Your options are Preferred Invoice Terms, Preferred Delivery Method, Shipping, Custom Fields, Custom Transaction Numbers, Service Date, Discount, and Deposit. Preferred Invoice Terms refers to the time you would like the invoice paid. For example, net 30 means the invoice is due within 30 days. Preferred Delivery Method refers to the delivery of a sales invoice. Your options are None, Print Later, and Send Later. The Shipping option has a checkbox that turns shipping on if checked and off if left blank. When shipping is turned on, it adds the fields date, tracking number, destination, and subtotal to your sales forms. Custom Fields allows you to add custom fields of your own choosing to your sales forms. There are two checkboxes for each field, Internal and Public. Internal makes the contained information only visible in QuickBooks, and Public will put that information into a printed sales form. Custom Transaction Numbers enables you to decide invoice numbers. Left unchecked, QuickBooks will instead assign invoice numbers. Service Date allows for a service date field on sales forms. This is helpful if you have different service dates for the services you provide. Discount adds a discount field to sales forms. The final choice in this menu is Deposit. This option adds a deposit line to your sales forms. This is useful when your customer makes a payment against their total amount due. Click Save to finish this menu and save your information. The next menu under Sales is the Products and Services menu. Here you will find Show Product Service column on sales forms. When this box is checked, it will add a Product Service column to your sales forms, allowing you to pick from your list of products and services. Checking the checkbox next to Track Quantity and Price or Rate will add a quantity and a rate field to your sales forms. This will allow you to keep track of your products and services sold. The final option in this menu is Track Quantity on Hand. This allows you to keep track of the products you have remaining for sale and their inventory costs. When finished, click Save. Messages allows you to build a default email message for the different types of sales forms you may use. There are several options available. The first option is Use Greeting. To use a default greeting, click this checkbox and then select the option for the greeting. Your options are Blank, To, and Dear. You also have options for how your customer's name is displayed. These are First and Last, Title and Last, First, Full Name, Company Name, and Display Name. Next, you have the option to assign with which forms you would like to use a custom message. You can create custom messages for the following forms: Invoice, Estimate, Credit Memo, Sales Receipt, and Statement. Each form can have a different message of your choice. Alternatively, you can click the Use Standard Message button and have a standard message pre-filled. Under Subject is a text box where you can enter a default subject line directly followed by an email message text box. There is a checkbox to have all sales forms which are emailed sent to your email as a copy. The final area under Messages allows you to enter a default message that will be shown on sales forms. You can select either Estimate or Invoices and other sales forms and apply the message that you enter to each form. Click the Save button when you've completed your entries in this menu. The Online Delivery menu lets you choose email options for sales forms. You can check the checkbox to attach sales form as PDF with the options Show Sales Form Summary in Email or Show Sales Form Details in Email. There is also a drop-down box to choose email options for invoices. This box includes Online Invoice, HTML email, and plain text email. The last option is a checkbox to attach Invoices PDF. Click Save to complete this menu and save your entries. The final choice under Sales is the Statements menu. This menu allows you to determine how much information is contained on a customer statement. List each transaction as a single line will show each transaction, while List each transaction including all detail lines will include all the detail line information about each transaction. Lastly, the checkbox Show Aging Table at bottom of statement will add the amount your customer owes and how many days it may be overdue to your statement. Clicking Save will complete this menu. The next section is the Expenses section. Click on Bills and Expenses to open the menu. Your first option is a checkbox to Show Items Table on Expense and Purchase Forms. This will allow you to itemize your products or services on purchase orders and expense forms. The next checkbox, Track Expenses and Items by Customer, will add a customer column to expense forms and purchase orders. This will allow you to track expenses by customer. Next is a Make Expenses and Items Billable checkbox. This will add a billable column to purchase orders and expense forms. A subsection contains a checkbox to mark up with a default rate of, with a text box to set a specific percentage. This will allow you to automatically mark up expenses if you choose to do so. The next checkbox is to Track Billable Expenses and Items as Income and contains two radio buttons as subsections. They are In a Single Account and In Multiple Accounts. If you select In Multiple Accounts, a Use for Billable Expenses checkbox will be added to an account's edit screen in the chart of accounts. The final checkbox option is Charge Sales Tax. This option will turn on sales tax by default for billable expenses and items. The final option in the Bills and Expenses menu is the default bill payment terms. This option has a drop-down box that, when clicked, will display Add New as the only option. You can click the Add New button to open a new term menu. This menu contains a name text box that will allow you to set a name for your payment term, for example, Net 30. The first option is Due in Fixed Number of Days, followed by a text box to enter the number of days. There is also a Due by Certain Day of the Month option, with a text box for the day of the month. Under Due by Certain Day of Month, you can also choose Due the next month if issued within, with a text box for the number of days of due date. The final option is a checkbox to apply the discount if paid early. Checking this box opens a text box for a percent and if paid before the blank day of month. This will allow you to apply a discount if the bill is paid early, for example 10% if paid within 10 days. You can then click the Save button to complete the Bills and Expenses menu. You can click Purchase Orders to open the menu to adjust those options. You will see a checkbox for Use Purchase Orders. Clicking the checkbox will open more selections. You will be able to add custom fields. There is a checkbox for Custom Transaction Numbers that will allow you to use your own numbering system if desired. The final option is a text box to add a default message on purchase orders. You can then click the Save button to complete this menu. The Payments menu allows you to sign up for a new QuickBooks Payments account. This will allow you to accept credit cards, perform bank transfers, accept payments through QuickBooks, and many more options. You can click Learn More to be taken to a page that will give you the options for QuickBooks Payment Services. The next option is Existing Account. If you have a GoPayment or Merchant Services account through Intuit, you can click the Connect button to link that account with QuickBooks Online Plus. The last section in Settings is Advanced. Click Accounting to open the menu. The first option is the first month of your fiscal year with a drop-down box for you to select the month. Next is the first month of income tax year. The drop-down box contains two options, same as fiscal year or January. The next option is a checkbox for Close the Books. This allows you to enter a closing date. This will prevent any changes from being made to transactions dated before the closing date without first seeing a warning. A drop-down box that contains two options is directly under the closing date text box. The options are Allow changes after viewing a warning and Allow changes after viewing a warning and entering a password. If you have an accountant with access to your company file, they will not be warned or require a password. When you're ready, you can click the Save button to close this menu. The next menu is Chart of Accounts. There are two checkboxes, Enable Account Numbers and Use Account Numbers. Checking these boxes will add an Assign Account Numbers option to the chart of accounts and will let you sort your accounts numerically in reports. This setting will only affect you and not all the users of the company file. Next is a Billable Expense Income Account drop-down box. This will allow you to assign a specific account to the Track Billable Expenses and Items as Income from the Expenses section. Note that this option will only be necessary if you selected the In a Single Account option under Bills and Expenses. In this same section, you can also select a default shipping account and a default discount account if you enabled those options. Click Save to save your entries and complete this menu. Next is the Automation menu. The first option is a checkbox for Pre-fill forms with previously entered content. Selecting this option will automatically fill other fields within a form based on the last saved transaction for the selected customer, employee, or vendor. The next option is a checkbox to automatically apply credits. This will automatically apply credits to the next invoice you create for a customer. The next option is automatically invoice unbilled activity. This will create invoices for customers who have unbilled activity. If enabled, there is a drop-down box with 3 selections for this option. They are automatically create invoices and don't notify me, automatically create invoices and notify me, and remind me to create invoices. Notifications will appear in the activities list on the home page. There is a schedule option for automatically billed invoices as well. The first drop-down box contains any activity, daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. Any option other than any activity will open up further options. For example, selecting weekly will open up a text box to enter the number of weeks and a drop-down box to select which day of the week you would like to be notified. The next option is copy estimates to invoices. Selecting this checkbox opens a drop-down box with the options copy accepted estimates only or copy pending and accepted estimates. The final option in this menu is automatically apply bill payments. With this option turned on, when you add a bill payment in the register, the payment will be automatically applied to the oldest existing bill. Click the Save button to save your entries and complete this menu. Click Time Tracking to open this menu. Your first option is a checkbox to add service field to timesheet. Selecting this option will allow you to specify which services were performed when filling out an employee's timesheet. Next is Add Customer Field to Timesheets. This option will specify whether an activity should be billed to a customer. Under Add Customer Field to Timesheets is a sub-selection Show Billing Rate to users entering time. If you charge customers a different rate than you pay your employees, it's a good idea to leave this option unchecked. Finally, a First Day of Work Week drop-down box allows you to select which day of the week your time tracking starts on. You can then click the Save button to complete and close this menu. The final menu is labeled Miscellaneous. The first checkbox is to warn if duplicate check number is used. The second checkbox is to warn if duplicate bill number is used. You can set a time to sign me out if inactive for by choosing 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours from the drop-down box. You can set the date format of the company file by selecting one of the options in the drop-down box. The default for this option is month, day, year, year. The final drop-down box sets the number format for your company. There are 3 options contained in this drop-down box. They are 123,456.00, which is the version used in the United States, 123.456,00, or 123/456,00. Click Save to close this menu. When you're finished, click the Done button.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.